And so we reached the end of 2025. What a crazy year it's been. Nowhere near a great year by any means. The current state of the world will say as much. But there were some sprinkles of good here and there. So I'm gonna be real here and say that the first 6 months or so, like just the first half of the year, was pretty miserable for me in all honesty. I wasn't in a good headspace after a certain political event that happened to November the year prior, and I was taking serious medication for my acne on my face. Yes, it was that bad. But around July, my outlook on the future changed into something a little more hopeful. You can thank a certain movie I'll mention later for that. After that, things were looking slightly more up for me, and the rest of it is a little better, I'd say. And in the later half of July, I attended my first anime convention. I went to Florida SuperCon with my family, and I was in a kind of casual cosplay as a Cyclops with a homemade jacket and a visor, and I had a blast. And as a result, my siblings and I attended many more. We went to Anime Orlando, and then later Ocala Comic Con, both of which we all attended in full cosplay. I won't show any pictures of me at these cons for privacy reasons, but we did have a blast at every con we went to. And we spent stupid amounts of cash on cool art and trinkets. And man, it was so worth it. All these anime conventions are so much fun, and I 100% plan on attending more in 2026. Something else I want to talk about regarding 2025 as a year in review is the movies. In 2024, the year prior, movies were kind of weak and music carried. This year is kind of reversed. Music was admittedly weak for new releases, but movies undeniably carried this year. While the world effectively shat itself, cinema did the majority of the lifting for the good in this world. And I saw a lot of new movies in 2025 and used Letterboxd to keep track. And I will rank all of them from worst to best, complete with my ranking out of 5 stars. And yes, every movie I've seen in 2025. Well, new releases specifically. This bit will be unscripted, so bear with me as this will get a little rambling-esque, but I will try to be concise as possible. And so I saw a total of 37 new releases this year. So what is the bottom of the ranking of this? To shock no one, it's World of Worlds 2025 remake. This movie is a half-star film, but should be 0 stars. This is complete garbage, just pro-Palantir propaganda slop. And my new pick for the worst movie ever made. This was completely miserable to watch. Just dog shit all around. In number 36, not much better, is In the Lost Lands. This was also really bad, just incomprehensible eyesore. Like, it actually hurt my eyes to watch this. This was so bad. Number 35 is Lilo and Stitch 2025. Stitch, the character himself, is always fun to enjoy, but they completely butchered the story for this. They missed the point completely with that horrible, horrible ending. That was just, oh my god. I actually watched a camera about this since I refused to watch this after finding out that they removed certain characters like Gantu. They don't have Gantu in this movie. And also, they don't have Pleakley and Drag. We need Pleakley and Drag. But yeah, Lilo and Stitch 2025 is garbage. The original is superior in every way. Number 34 is Back in Action with 1 star, which is just... I predicted the entire movie within 2 minutes of seeing this. This was so boring and predictable and garbage. Although there were a couple good actors in this, but even they couldn't save it, which is sad. Number 33, I have The Old Guard 2 at 1.5 stars. I really liked the original Old Guard movie, and having to wait 5 whole years for this movie and sitting through it, it was just so disappointing. It was really bad. Like, it didn't feel like we even progressed past the first act by the movie ending, if you know what I mean. Like when it ended, it did not feel like the ending, you know? Like, it just stopped dead in its tracks. Because you can tell they split this whole plot into 2 movies, which I doubt they'll even get that 3rd movie since I heard this movie flopped to viewing-wise, but yeah, this movie was so disappointing. Number 32 is Guns Up, also 1.5 stars. Kevin James, I used to like a lot in his comedy movies, but sadly he is washed with this movie. It tries to be this pretty serious thing where he's trying to like get out of like this like underworld type business and everything and to like settle down with his family. But then just by the end of it, just devolves to this like campy, silly family shit and just like, how did we get here, you know? It was so weird. So disappointing. At number 31, I have Fountain of Youth. I like Guy Ritchie's movies, like a lot, but they lobotomized him here for this movie. Like none of his sauce or essence is felt in this movie whatsoever. This was so disappointing. When those credits rolled and I saw Guy Ritchie directed it, I was like, how? Was he even there? But yeah, this movie was really bad. At number 30, I have Five Nights at Freddy's 2, also at 1.5 stars. Listen, I know a lot of fans love this movie, and this comes from someone that hasn't played any of the games, but only knows bits of lore here and there. I thought the first movie was okay, and I had open mind going into this one. I was really disappointed how just janky the script was and everything. It was just, it didn't commit to everything fully, and I heard a lot of lore changes were made. It was just a big mess, but the animatronics were a big improvement. I like those in this. They carried it, but it was still a really bad script and story concept, but hopefully FNAF 3 is better, which I've been told the game is based on is really good. But FNAF 2, pretty bad. At number 29, I have a Minecraft movie at 1.5 stars. Look, all the hype around this movie when it came out, all the chicken jockey memes and whatnot, that was fun theater experience. Well, if you weren't in the showings where they're throwing popcorn and shit, but just seeing everyone laugh was fun. But after that dies off, or if you're so fully sober watching this is just, the visual style is just contradicting. It's just not a good movie, really. This is the current generation's Michael Myers Cat in a Hat, like that live action one. This is the 2020s movie of that. But I feel like it's only enjoyable if you're not sober, if you know what I mean. But yeah, really wish this was animated. And number 2, I have Deep Cover with 2 stars. This movie is a fun concept where a group of improv students end up having to do like police work, and it just goes way too far and everything. But it doesn't commit to it fully, and I feel like it could have been so much better, and just kept floundering, and it didn't fully work for me. It could have been so much better, but it just kept screwing it up. And number 27, I have the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, at 2.5 stars. This is nowhere near the worst SpongeBob movie. The worst is Sandy Cheeks movie, which is atrocious, but this movie just feels like a reused episode plot, which it literally is, and it just feels like the Great Race of SpongeBob, if you know what I mean, for Thomas fans watching. This was just not that good, but at least it's a reused plot that's kind of okay, but then again, the episode they copied from is still superior, but it isn't like atrocious per se. Also, Mark Hamill was completely miscast as the Flying Dutchman. They should have brought back his original actor, or even better, made the Flying Dutchman in this movie a different character that just related to him, for example. Maybe like Redbeard, I don't know, just something different, because reusing characters for this just didn't work. Number 26 is Freaky Earth Friday, 2.5 stars. I like the original, that was pretty good, I saw it in middle school. And watching this, it wasn't like bad per se, it was just kind of boring, and also the teenager crap is just kind of eh. But I do like how they put a twist on the whole switching bodies and stuff, and did it twice with 4 people, which is kind of interesting, but it could have been so much better, you know? But it's not like atrocious or anything. And number 25, we finally get to something with a little more substance, is Dogman at 3 stars. Make no mistake, Dogman having 3 stars is right on the line between 3 stars and 2.5. I really like the visual style of this movie a lot. It is beautiful to look at, but I feel like a lot of the humor and stuff was a little too childish and goofy to fully like keep me in, you know? Like they tried to deal with some like very like heavy stuff here with what's the cat's name that played Pete Davidson? I forgot his name, but he was great in this, and I wish they took it a little more seriously. But it's still a decent watch at least. But kids will like it, and I feel like parents will also at least enjoy it to some extent, but it's just kind of eh. Number 24, I have Captain America Brave New World at 3 stars. A bigger jump from Dogman's 3-star rating. This feels like the Marvel movie was an instant ramen, but with a single boiled egg sliced over it. It's just different enough in like attempt to make it better at it, to not make it feel like just reused slop, you know? Like I didn't hate this per se, it was pretty decent. I love Sam Wilson as Captain America, and I hope they keep him Captain America in the MC reboots. This movie kind of screwed him over. He deserves better, because Sam Wilson's a great character, you know? I like a lot of stuff in here, but it could have been so much better. Number 23 is Death of a Unicorn at 3.5 stars. Emphasis on 3.5 stars on the lower half of that. I really like the concept of this movie and how they like went with it, but it was kind of in some places, but they really went full hard with the horror, which I really like. And also, they don't do much with unicorns, so it was really fresh to see a unicorn take in cinema be different from like child fantasy stuff, you know? But it was pretty interesting. And number 22, I have Elio with 3.5 stars. I didn't see this in theaters, but I kind of wish I did, since this movie is really surprising me. It was really good. Is it Pixar's best? No, but it's still really good watch though. Like it was way better than I thought it would be. I just wish it was given better treatment, since I've heard all the production issues they had, and like it could have been so much more interesting. But at least the final product isn't an atrocity like Lightyear, for example. It's still a solid watch, I feel. And number 21, I have Novocaine, our first 4-star movie on the list. I really like the concept of this movie with this guy who literally can't feel pain, and how they handle all the fight scenes with it. It is so cool. And this is a nice, fun watch, you know? Nothing too crazy or anything. It's like, you can just put it on in the background, like on even TV, for example, and you'll have a fun time. Very interesting. Like it. And Jack Wade, Superman from My Adventure Superman, superb in this. I like it. It's awesome. And number 20, I have The Accountant 2 at 4 stars as well. The most dad movie ever, but it is way better than the original, in my opinion. So much more action, a slightly better handling of autism in a movie, and it's just the chemistry between Ben Affleck and John Berthel as brothers is so fun. I really like this. It's pretty good. And number 19, I have One of Them Days, the first movie I saw in theaters in 2025 at 4 stars. We need more comedies like this in theaters, and I'm so glad they're making a sequel, at least according to reports, but hopefully it actually happens. This movie was so good. I love it. It was so good. And number 18, I have The Running Man 2025 remake, also at 4 stars. This movie bangs hard. Although it is kind of weird that this movie about taking down dystopias was made by Paramount, which is bowing down to dystopias, so it gets kind of weird when you think about it, but the movie itself is pretty good. I like Glenn Powell in this, although it does get a little muddy towards the end, but it's still a decent watch nonetheless. I enjoyed this pretty well. Number 17 is The Fantastic Four, First Steps at 4 stars. Fitting for the name, at least. I really like this movie. It's pretty fun, although it could have been just a little more better, you know? But I do know that they're in the right place for these characters, and they're heading at least in a good direction for them. Hopefully, the Russo brothers don't screw them up in Doomsday and Secret Wars. Number 16 is One Battle After Another at 4 stars. This movie is so good. The cinematography, the acting, the concept is just so good. I am so glad I saw this in theaters. Albeit the theater I saw it in happened to be very small, but it was still really good. This was a fun watch. It was so good. And very important for the current state of the world now, so I'm glad we had this movie this year. This will undeniably go down as one of the many modern movie classics of the 2020s at the very least, if not the 21st century. It deserves it. Number 15 is Mickey 17 at 4.5 stars. This movie is really good. I love all the commentary it makes, all the casting, the setting is really good. Although I feel like it just falls just a hair bit shy for being 5 stars, you know? It's like almost there, but not really. Like, it could have been just that little bit more, you know? Just that little slight bit. I can't put my finger on what it is specifically, but when you watch the movie, I feel like you might know what I'm talking about. But regardless, it is still a really good movie. I love it. Number 14 is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, also at 4.5 stars. This movie is so good. I really wish I saw it during its theatrical release, but even then seeing it at home was such an experience. The atmosphere, the visuals, the acting, the story, oh, it's so good. In my opinion, it's the best Knives Out movie, although I hope they make many, many more of these movies. These movies hit like crack in the 80s. And yes, I'm serious. Rian Johnson may have screwed over Star Wars in my opinion, but my god, he cooks so hard with Knives Out movies. Give him more. We need more Benoit Blanc. And number 13, I have Zootopia 2 at 4.5 stars.
This movie really surprised me. I went into this thinking it'll probably be 3 stars or even 2.5, like similar to how I viewed Zootopia 1. But oh my god, this was genuinely hilarious. It was really good and really deep, like emotional level too. It was like, wow, this was really good. Like, I was completely surprised. This was a good watch. In my opinion, leagues above the first movie, especially in the heart and emotional pulling, and also the commentary it makes on like housing and everything. It was incredible. I was really surprised given how corporate peddling Disney is nowadays. But this was really good. Number 12 is Thunderbolts at 4.5 stars. Marvel is able to cook finally after years of pumping out slop. I am so sad this movie underperformed at the box office. It deserved so much more. It is not the MCU or MCU as grifters call it. No, it's the MC Pugh. Florence Pugh is the queen of the MCU. Give her the keys to the kingdom. This is amazing. This was so good. Especially everything with Bob and Red Guardian, everyone. It was just impeccable. It was amazing. Although I'm still furious they allegedly used AI in the end credits, but even that aside, it's still a good movie though. Although I cannot condone any AI usage if there is any, but I'll have to look into that. Fuck AI! Number 11 is The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. The first 5-star movie on this list. While many listings say this technically came out in 2024, it did see its United States theatrical release in early 2025, which I did see in theaters twice actually. It was that good. And man, this was deserving in theaters. I am so glad I saw it in theaters. It was so good. Like pure Looney Tunes chaos on a giant screen. You can't go wrong with it, you know? It was just really fun. Especially seeing the dynamic between Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. It was so much fun. In a classic Looney Tunes 2D style back. It was like seeing an old friend again after like 20 years without seeing them. It was so good. I love it. Now we're in the top 10. These movies are above each other in very niche ways, like very hairs width. It's very close for a lot of these. But number 10, I have Ballerina from the World of John Wick at 5 stars. This movie is really good. I consider every John Wick movie 5 stars, but I see Ballerina just a little bit below the mainline 4, but it is still a great movie regardless. All the action, the brutalness of the whole movie, and the way all the fight scenes play out differently opposed to John Wick, it is really good. I'm really glad that they made Ana de Armas' character different from Keanu Reeves' John Wick, and how she fights, how she sees everything. It is just perfect. And I love how they handle Keanu Reeves himself in the movie. Like, they gave him the right balance of screen time without being a crutch or just like key jungling for like 5 seconds. They handled it perfectly. Really good movie. Sad it bombs, but it was still great regardless. Number 9 is Weapons at 5 stars. I didn't see this in theaters, but oh my god, I wish I did. This was, it was so dark and brutal, and like, oh my god, this was really good. They did not hold back one bit. This was incredible. This is a really good unsettling watch for Halloween. Fair warning, if you want to watch this, there is a lot of gore, so viewers discretion, I guess. But it is still a really good movie, though. A masterclass of the horror genre. Number 8 is Demon Slayer Infinity Castle at 5 stars. This movie is absolutely incredible. It came out during my birthday weekend, which even made it better since September is usually a drought for movies, but this made it all the better. It is very long, and I'm honestly glad 2D anime movies are longer than just 90 minutes now. But there were a lot of flashback scenes, which kind of bothered me, but at the same time, they were still really good. And just all the animation, the story, it was just, oh my god, like emotional roller coaster. The entire time. It was like, what, 2.5 hours, almost 3, I think? So good, though. I love this movie. I cannot wait for these sequels in the coming years. Number 7 is The Naked Gun 2025 Legacy sequel, I guess, or soft reboot. I watched the originals right before going into the theater to see this, and oh my god, the humor in this is admittedly a bit different from the originals, but the way it's handled in a more cinematic way as compared to before elevates it above the originals, in my opinion. It's just so clever how to get away with all these jokes. Like, instead of like just like grotesque, like rage bait humor, for lack of a better term, they change this more like a cinematic, like movie editing kind of like gags, you know? But yeah, this movie did do good at the box office, I heard, so I hope we get more, but I doubt we will, which is kind of sad. But Naked Gun 2025, the best of the whole franchise, in my opinion. There, I said it. At number 6, I have Predator, Killer of Killers at 5 stars. This movie bangs hard. Like, oh my god, this is everything I want to see in Predator. This was actually my very first Predator movie, outside of like Alien vs. Predator from 2004. And man, this was like everything I wanted to see. Like, Predators fighting samurais, Predators fighting Vikings, even World War II pilots. And then all those different characters fight Predators in an arena. It's just all with like a beautiful Spider-Verse-esque style that's also in its own way, and way more grotesque. They do not hold back. This is perfect. Like, dang it, perfect. This is so good. Like, Dan Trachtenberg never misses with this franchise. I love it. Entering the top 5, I have Sinners at 5 stars. This movie was absolutely incredible. Like, this movie, along with the following 4 movies, are within hairs with each other. Like, very, very close. And Sinners is just incredible. Seeing this in theaters with the aspect ratio changing, so good. Like, oh my god, Ryan Coogler cooked so hard. They better give Michael B. Jordan the Oscar for Best Actor, because I was fully convinced that Smoke and Stack were 2 whole people they just found, you know? Like, they weren't actors, they're just real people, you know? This was just absolutely incredible. Absolute cinema. At number 4, I have, as surprising as it sounds, K-Pop Demon Hunters at 5 stars. I first saw preview clips of this when they were marketing it, and kind of just wrote it off as like a corny movie, although I did know the animation style would be great since it was Sony Pictures with the new style. But after seeing a lot of videos saying this was like insanely good, I decided to give it a watch. And oh my god, I was wrong to think it would be cringe. This was incredible. Like, everything in this movie is so good. Like, even when you start like losing interest, the visual style drags you back in. It's just visual eye candy on top of a compelling story. Even the songs, like, I don't care about musicals, but these songs in this movie were incredible. This was insanely good. And I've seen this movie like 7 times, even once in a sing-along event theater. You can't get bored with this movie. It is that good. It is so good. And I can't wait for the sequel. At number 3, I have Chainsaw Man, the movie, Res Arc. This movie, I knew it was gonna be great since it's Chainsaw Man, for crying out loud. But I went to this movie, it was about the first third or so just being like romance stuff and like deep shit. And then after that point, it is belt to ass nonstop action. And it's like, holy shit. It was incredible. Like, this was just insane. I was literally doing that one gif in the theater at the end. It was insane. Like, you know that one. I'll put it on screen. But, like, oh man, this was insane. I did not think this was going to be better than Demon Slayer, but it ended up being way better. I was like, wow. Like, we have 2 cakes to eat now for anime fans. But this is just insanely good. Love it. Easily the best anime movie of the year. At number 2, I have Predator Badlands at 5 stars. In my opinion, this is the best Predator movie of the franchise. This movie was just, so good. It was so tough. Like they were doing like a classic hero journey trope and everything, but they did not hold back on any of the action and everything. It was just, Oh, they did everything so tastefully for this franchise. It was so good. Again, I was doing that one GIF with the guy with his hands and stuff. It was so good. Like, oh my god, incredible. And at number 1, to the shock of nobody, it is Superman by James Gunn at 5 stars. This movie couldn't have come at a better time because I was freaking miserable before this movie came out, and I saw that. And this, honestly, as corny as this sounds, honestly, like, recharged my hope for the world in general. Like, this was just so good. I absolutely love this movie. It is my current favorite movie right now, and I'm probably gonna say that for a while. And also because I've always, deep down, been the more DC guy, but fell out due to DCEU and Snyder's crap. And also when Marvel was like shining as well. But now these pendulum is swinging back to DC, and DC is up again, which I'm so glad for. Especially after getting to the comics now, like DC, in my opinion, is way better. And I cannot wait for the rest of DCU. James Gunn Superman is a masterclass of cinema, in my opinion. Just absolute cinema. And now that I've ranked all the movies I've seen this year, let's move on to terms of my channel growth. When it comes to my channel, there wasn't as much growth as the year prior. I did hit big milestones like 5,000 subscribers in May, and then later 6,000 subscribers just a couple weeks ago. And while that is a good increase, of course, it is noticeably smaller in comparison to 2023, where I started the year with around 600 subscribers and finished with around 2.3k. While this isn't something that bothers me a whole lot, I do hope to change that for 2026. And my main goal for next year is to hit 10,000 subscribers from my current point at some point next year. And I plan to do that with changing my content variety. I have big plans for videos, and these plans include expanding my content beyond Thomas and trains, including something I've been wanting to do for a good long while now, which is a retrospective on the entire series of LEGO Ninjago. Ninjago is one of the other shows that I've grown up with and absolutely love still. I've been wanting to do something with this since my channel originally started out as Ninjago stuff way back in the day under like 2 different names. Which, if you're still around from there, you're a real one. But this is kind of a 50-50 thing I've been wanting to do since I haven't tapped into that niche in like at least a decade. So what I'll do is that another topic I want to cover is the LEGO Cinematic Universe and why it failed. I might make that video first, and if that does well, I will move forward with a full Ninjago retrospective series, where I will cover each season in its own video, and also these specials as well. And if that does happen, the series will be released in spaced out entries sprinkled between regular videos. So it wouldn't be like a weekly occurrence per se, as watching a whole season of TV and then writing about it and edit, it takes a while, you know. This isn't a guarantee for Ninjago retrospective, but I will make an effort to make my videos in general have more sauce and longer runtimes, you know. I want to make them better. Recently, I was informed that I qualified to start channel memberships, where if you're familiar with these, you can make tiers for perks and everything like Patreon style. I just want to stay here that I don't have any plans on implementing this. I have nothing else to provide to justify any sort of paywall for my content, and I don't want to lock any of my content behind a paywall. We all struggle more than enough these days anyways. And I feel the least I can do for the world is provide a reliable source of entertainment with zero paywall. I want everyone to see my videos if they so want to. And also, while we're kind of on it, I will also never use any form of AI in my work, generative or otherwise. As if I did, it wouldn't be my own content, you know? To me, creations have to come from me to be considered my own. Like, all content from Fire Porter will now and always will be 100% AI free. Fuck AI! It is the humanity of storytelling that brings us all together, and it will always live through my own content and work. Fuck AI. What else can I say? Let's talk about my ongoing series now. Porter's Workbench Season 4 will end with the first collection video in 2026. This will likely come out in January, as it has been going on for a very long time, and then I'll eventually jump into Season 5 in a few months, which will be admittedly shorter, as there will be fewer models and also more redos. The current tariff situation still hasn't cleared up yet, and importing British models to the US is still expensive. So, expect Porter vs. Workbench Season 5 to be considerably shorter than most. But there will still be something there, I hope. When it comes to Porter vs. OCs, the series might slow down a little bit. Not because of any lack of interest, but more so the fact that
I've already covered most of my OCs. But if I do make more in the future, which admittedly I might, but who knows? There might be more episodes of this series, but who knows? Portiverse Antics, my TikTok skit volume I uploaded a while back, over a year ago now. I was hoping to make this a yearly occurrence towards the end of the year where I upload the full volumes, but I didn't really film a whole lot this year. I don't think I filmed any. Well, I think I filmed a couple, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But hopefully in 2026 I can make more, and then by the end of 2026 I'll have a full volume 2 and a hearty compilation video, you know? But who knows? Portiverse Lore Ramblings ended earlier this year, and there is no plans for it to come back. To me, this series is fully done. I've said everything I wanted to say about it, and I don't want to overdo the lore of my AU, as keeping things open is what makes a series more fun. And you get to explore so much with it. And speaking of a series, Hoarder Tunes, the big series I announced back in May during my 80th anniversary special. That unfortunately will more likely not be released in 2026. I can say that. And do apologize for this, as I know it's upsetting, but my reasoning is that I don't have a layout at all. But once I have my full on layouts, which will more likely be when I have my own full house, that'll be when I start doing Hoarder Tunes. But I am working on other parts of it, like getting episode ideas and outlines and whatnot, but don't expect it to come out for a long while, but do know that I am working on some aspects of it as I go. But one thing I do hope to make more of is those little model shorts, like my Thanksgiving special and Christmas special. And also Night the Goober as well. Those are really fun to make. And I have plans for a few more. In fact, I would like to announce one of them now. And this will be the big announcement that I've been teasing for a while now. Coming at some point next year will be a new model special from me. Sordor Vision 1D. A mockumentary parody in the style of the late Disney World ride, Muppet Vision 3D. I plan to make this at least 7 to 15 minutes long, depending on how the script turns out, and have it full of humor and visual gags. And I also plan on bringing in more voice actors for it too. And it'll be a big fun special. Release date is still to be determined, but I'm hoping to get it out around the summertime. No guarantee on that, but summer is my general goal. But I'll be updating you on my community tab and other socials. And speaking of my socials, I will be deactivating my Twitter accounts on January 14th or before that, as the new terms of service will effectively screw over my accounts and everything I post there, so I'm not planning to return to Twitter for the foreseeable future, at least until those new terms are reversed or Elon Musk is out of the company. But I will be posting more on my other accounts, like Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and of course here on YouTube. And I'll keep you all updated on all those platforms. I also wanted to say that uploads might, emphasis on might, become more regular. I plan on sticking to my weekly schedule as much as possible, but with larger videos being planned, they'll likely need a little more time in the cooker before releasing. But as always, I will announce any upload schedule changes on all my socials I mentioned earlier. And with that, we've reached the end of 2025. What a crazy year it's been. For better and for worse. Hopefully, 2026 will be better in at least some aspects. But again, only time will tell. Happy New Year, everybody. Here's to a good new year. And I will see you all in 2026.